to Grit Gym, guys. I did not start my other stuff. But anyways, welcome back to Grit Gym. We've got TJ Anderson here. TJ and I have actually known each other for a really long time, so it's not that odd that he would not be wearing a shirt right now, showing you his tiny little nipples, going to France with his red light, or infrared light, I should say, on, and all of his other stuff. When he first signed on, he even was listening to some binaural beats, I do believe, or whatever they were. We can talk about those here in a second. But we're going to talk about his health hacking book that he just published, and it's pretty cool. But TJ's kind of the reluctant hero. He had to go through his own journey to get there. I mean, he's like, TJ, you came all the way from being a frat boy to not being a douchebag. How did you do it?
There's that, and then went from being like a model just focused on the physical body and the six pack. But yeah. How did I do that? That's the hero's journey. How did I go from frat boy and Miami model to, someone that almost died in the emergency room and ultimately started to kind of figure out this game of health. I don't know. It's been a fun journey, man.
Take a second to just kind of introduce yourself to the Grit Gym crowd just a little bit. This is TJ Anderson. He's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. TJ and I have gotten drunk many times together. I've known him longer than I've known Rachel. When Rachel was on the show yesterday, we were talking about you. But anyway.
Cool, nice. Yeah. So like you, I mean, I'm also born and raised in Iowa. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, and I currently live in Boulder, Colorado. But the book that you referenced is the result of my 4-year project of writing about my own personal health and healing journey, as well as kind of a guide for others to write their own story and continue to write it. So I run a company called Elevate Your State, and the book and my work is focused on empowering holistic health hacking from the heart. So how do we create like sustainable health hacker habits in our life, and so like what it means to be a health hacker as well. So that's kind of a background on myself.
No, that's awesome. And real quick, can you go through what holistic means to you? Because holistic gets wrapped up in, like, a lot of people think it's homeopathic. They think they're the same thing. They're like, I'm not believing in that snake oil bullshit. What's your perspective?
Yeah, great question. Because you're right. There's lots of different terms that are thrown out there with whether it's homeopathy, integrative, functional medicine, alternate, holistic. Holistic, when I refer to holistic, and so chapter 2 in the book, I believe, chapter 2 or 3, I tell the story about how I've evolved my own definition of health to be more holistic. So when I say holistic, I mean not just focusing on the physical body to optimize how you look, but also becoming curious and progressive in areas of emotional, mental, and also spiritual health. So I cover all 4 topics, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, inside of the book, because I believe each of them individually help each other, and together they can upgrade the whole, in a lot better, more impactful way. Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. I think it would probably, like, you can disagree with me or agree with me if you like, or go whichever way you want, but I think it would be extremely naive to not think that, to just think exercise is the way to health. No, it's just nutrition. No, it's just your spiritual health, or it's just your, like, it would just be naive to think that there's only just this little portion, and these are all the answers.
Exactly. No, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. And it would be naive, or, it could also be a part of someone's blind spots, in their life. And for me, that was doing 2-a-day insanity, high intensity interval training workouts on South Beach to perfect my physical body and achieve a 6-pack, and just working my ass off with movement and fitness, but for the wrong reasons, and so.
What were the reasons? What were your reasons for?
So I thought modeling would serve as like a platform to spread healthy living with the world.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, it was a lot of healing for my own personal ego in that quest down in Miami. I mean, I didn't book a lot of gigs. I got ridiculed by my agent and people inside of the modeling world for my body not being good enough. So really unhealthy environment. But my goal was to earn some money and, like I said, use modeling as a platform. So if I was successful in modeling, my holistic health message would get out to the world, and it was a bit harder than that. So, yeah.
No, that's cool. So you set out to be like, you set out for perfection. Perfect body was going to be perfect health.
Exactly.
And what'd you find?
I found that is not sustainable. It doesn't work. And it basically is suppressing your emotional health and neglecting your emotional, spiritual, and mental health. You know, that's what ultimately happened for me. I came back to Iowa after 4 months in South Beach in Miami, and I came back to Iowa to heal and really ground myself and reflect on the experience. And that was the impetus for the book. That's what caused me to start journaling and writing about my own health journey and healing. And I actually, I also went to a heart opening ceremony, which is a story I mentioned in the book. A shaman was present. I, was grateful to be a part of this really powerful, loving community inside of this like evening ceremony, and experienced a lot of healing through that event. And so those sorts of experiences started happening after Miami, and was the impetus for the book.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you kind of got beat up while you were down there. I mean, like if you got ridiculed and all that stuff. I mean, and if you went there to try to do something and then it didn't turn out to be the thing that like, it's painful.
Totally. It was painful. Yeah. I felt like a failure. I felt like I felt like I wasn't practicing what I was preaching, like online and my like social media shares and journaling and blogging and because I wasn't all the time. It was like I'd party my ass off one night and then work my ass off in the gym and, getting an intermittent fasting and trying to be perfect with nutrition. And anyways, thankfully I'm really grateful for the experience, though I wouldn't change it for the world. I had a lot of fun down there, and it was what was necessary for me.
Yeah. So tell me about like, what are some of the stuff that you're doing right now? Like, for instance, what's with the red light? Because
you can't not ask the question.
No, that TJ doesn't actually look like he's glowing all the time. If you met him in person, he would not look red. But anyway, what's the red light about?
This is true. So the red light is one of my hacks that I set up on my desk during the working day. So if you think about it, most people during the working day, if they're working on their computers at their cubicle in their office, they're bombarded by artificial blue light, high levels of artificial blue light surrounding them in their office space, as well as from their technology, from their computers, from their phones. And we don't realize how this artificial blue light can like wreak havoc on our circadian rhythms, on our cells, on a cellular level, on our mitochondria. And it robs us of our melatonin production as well. So it significantly impacts our sleep. So not only do I have like a software Flux, you may have heard of Flux, F.lux, added to my laptop, removing the blue light 24/7 on my laptop. It's a free software, Flux, if you want to Google it and download it. But I also want to be mindful of the actual light I am receiving. So I love to get, obviously, sunlight. I just shared a video on Facebook about one of my favorite morning routine hacks, and that is the power of sunlight. And so we actually just took our dog for a walk and got like outdoor, like real legit full spectrum light exposure from the sun. But when I'm inside, I like to mimic the sun. And so what near infrared full spectrum light does is it mimics the sunlight in terms of providing full spectrum of the light, which the sun does at certain times of the day. And so it stimulates mitochondria production. It actually gives me energy. It doesn't zap and rob me of my energy like artificial blue light does. So I started with a sauna, so like an infrared sauna, which we actually have in our apartment here in Boulder.
Nice.
But then I added this one. I'm a big fan of a company called Sauna Space. So that's who turned me on to the sauna and the power of near-infrared light for healing. So,
nice.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing with the light. Good question.
Yeah, I think that stuff's super fascinating. The use of light and how it's into like, what's your reasoning for like? Because people will ask this, why not just go outside?
Yeah, great question. So it's easier to see on my laptop, so the laptop isn't as glaring outside. Like I'll work. We have a deck. We have a little patio area where I'll work on during the day sometimes when the sun is like positioned right. But I'm also focused on building a business and working a lot, and so I'm doing a lot of interviews like this, and it's a lot easier to be here in my home office, my standing desk, than it is like say in the park. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of it's almost just a matter of logistics, right? Just
yeah.
It would.
If I built a skylight, like in a perfect world, yeah, I'd have a skylight. Like that would be legit. Like, but I'm not perfect. This is about progress, so I like a balance between this sort of light and like the real sunlight.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm with you. Like, it would be hard not to say that sunlight's good for us on some level. And where do you go? So, what about the people who are going to come at you and say, "But sunlight's bad. Melanoma is bad. Being sunburned is bad."
Yeah, great question. I would say do your own research because the sun actually changes throughout the day. So, meaning that first thing in the morning and the last few hours of the day, so sunrise and sunset, for about hour and a half to 2+ hours of each, you're receiving a higher degree of the healing red light, like during a sunset, and in the morning you're receiving full spectrum. So the sun isn't just a big yellow blob in the sky. It's, scientifically speaking, emitting several different spectrums of light. And each of those different spectrums of light does something different for our cells, for our body, for our energy. And so that's point number one. UV, so we want to watch out. So the risk of cancer can come up with total quantity of sunlight and receiving too much at the wrong time. So you have to look and understand when the sun's going to be most powerful and perhaps most harmful for our skin, which happens usually in like late morning to like early afternoon, like the middle of the day. So that's what I would say, but also encourage people to do their own research on it because it's essential for optimizing our circadian rhythms and hormone production. Like it is beyond vitamin D, and getting a good tan.
Underestimated too, like far underestimated on like if you think about it, like life exists. Like the reason grass is green is because of the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll.
Exactly. Photosynthesis. Yes.
Like we couldn't be here without these, like the direct sunlight. Like there's a reason that this has all happened to get us to this point. But it's a funny thing. But yeah, like it would be hard. What I tell people is like just don't get burnt. Like just make it really simple. Just don't get burnt.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't get burnt and don't use toxic sunscreens either for your skin. Your skin is your largest organ. That's a great tip though, like that's a simple way to look at it. Don't get burnt.
Yeah. Just don't get burnt. You'll probably be fine. But anyway, tell me about that music that was playing before we popped on here and you had to turn it off. So that
I actually have a chapter in the book about it. So the art of health hacking. First thing I want to share is like the premise of the book is that we don't lack the science, information, or technology to live healthy. We lack the art to know how to use those resources properly and effectively.
I like that a lot. That was great. Yeah,
cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and it makes sense when you think about it, and so it's more empowering, right? So we have the ability, and perhaps the responsibility, the ability to respond. One of the things we learned in the Presence Process book club that we went through, and so we also have the ability to create our state of health that we desire, right? And so it's this artful, creative process. And the reason I bring this up is a lot of times there's aspects of art, of music, for example, which is a form of art that can significantly help you create the state that you desire on command. So I have a chapter. It's actually, I think it's the last chapter in the book. Yeah, the last chapter in the book is called Nature, Music, and Enjoying the Ride. Okay, so I highlight the actual quantifiable health benefits of time in nature, as well as the quality of the music that you listen to and who you listen to it with, right? So, for example, the song you're referencing was, I have a playlist on SoundCloud, a non-lyrical playlist. So depending on like my mood, my current like energy levels, and just how I'm feeling and thinking, like sometimes I'll want music, other times I'll want quiet. And
I'm with
so this, yeah, you know, and the music we were listening to was a non-lyrical mix on SoundCloud by Tycho, Tycho, if you've heard of it. So we're actually going to a Tycho concert at Red Rocks here in Colorado in like a month, or in a few weeks.
I never pay attention to the names of people that I listen to, but I'm with you. Like, it makes a difference. If you have lyrics going on, it's like it's too, it changes the focus. It changes something going on there. It's like what he said.
You're exactly right. It has a different impact on our neurochemistry. So yeah, I love non-lyrical music for that reason, for, you know, work and productivity, but also for like self-care, right? When you're stretching or doing a movement session or wanting to do an Epsom salt bath and just relax, it can really help. It's one of my, so what it's part of this idea that I explain in the book is like, okay, so music can be a health hack, you know, sunlight can be a health hack. Certain supplements and movement patterns, all these different things can be health hacks. But to take it a step further and to make it easier and more effective for people, what I love to have people experiment with is stacking certain health hacks on top of each other. So I call it habit stacking in the book. It's this idea that we can stack our health hacker habits on top of each other to make it easier to create the state that we desire on command. And so music is a great way to add that to anything you're currently doing. It's a way to add and make it easier to improve focus, energy, or relaxation and calmness. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think there are certain people out there that I consider myself an extreme skeptic to most things. Like I really gotta have a full understanding of it, but before I'll really accept it as like fact.
I know you are. I know that about you.
Like if you look at music and you say, "Oh no, that doesn't have an effect on us," it's like we're back to that naive thing. Like, yes, it does. Like, how often have you heard a song or a lyric or maybe not a lyric, but like a tone, and you're just like, "Damn!" Like that just gets me in my feet. You know, like
exactly.
It makes a difference. And so if we can use that to enhance our life in some way, why wouldn't we take advantage?
Why wouldn't we? Yeah. You know, and you know, sometimes it might be like people getting comfortable using their intuition, you know, like you said, like people that might be naive to things. It's like sometimes people need to know like the exact scientific benefit and like how and why they're going to use it, when they're going to use it, as opposed to just having an intention and connecting intuitively with what they may feel called to listen to, and then to do it and experiment.
Yeah. When I look at that, I definitely don't think that that's like an either or. I don't think it's like one or the other. I think it's both. Like you have an intuition, and then you have reason and logic and objectivism or whatever you want to call it. Yep. So why would we both? Yeah,
both.
I'm with you.
Love it, dude. Yeah.
So we had the binaural beats.
Yeah.
You got the red light. What's something else that we're like with the Health Hacker book where maybe this is unique, something that like people don't get hit with very often?
Yeah. Great question. Well, sometimes I find that like this world of health and biohacking can be overwhelming for people.
Oh yeah.
So not only does like picking the right like healthy habits really matter to actually make an influence, but the process of change. So one of my passions and background is in research and the application of behavior change science, specifically related to sustainable behavior change and communication for behavior change. So I've got a couple chapters in the book that are literally democratizing the best of the best science of behavior change. That these are the skills that like health coaches are learning, applying in their lifestyle and with their clients. And because I believe that like, okay, let's empower these skill sets to everyone, and we can all become health hackers. We can become our own health coach. For example, there's something called the 5 stages of change, the trans-theoretical model of behavior change. So understanding where you're at in terms of these 5 different stages per each of the habits you might be interested in experimenting with. You don't need to force yourself into something that maybe you're in like preparation mode on or contemplation, one of the first ones. And you need to know how to ask yourself the right questions to move yourself through those 5 stages of change. So that's the process of change, I think, is really important hack that people don't always realize and take into account.
Yeah. And like, what are you calling a hack, by the way? Like define hack.
Yeah.
Like,
so I would say hack is a hack is anything that can consciously support the positive progress in any area of your life that would allow for better human experience, improved health, and that's what I would say. So I mean,
no,
yeah.
I think that's what we're all out for. Like,
Totally.
like why would anybody listen to this show? Why would anybody read your book? Like,
Exactly.
They have to be doing it for some reason and figuring out what that reason is. Like, and if you can find a better way to get that thing, if you can hack that progress, man, like that's why you pick up a book like this. That's why you listen to a show like this, right?
Exactly, man. Yeah. You know, and it's not all about, I think a key point here is that it's not always about improvement. These movements of the quantified self and biohacking and fitness and wellness, they can have this energy and flavor of they're like self-improvement movements, right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve thyself. But as I share in the title of chapter 3, what's your story? Approve thyself before you improve thy health. It's important that you do just that you continually check in to approve of yourself and accept yourself where you're at right now, you know, and have a balance between approving and improving. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And as we get down to like the last few minutes here, let's go back to that, like where we started. Let's go back to the beginning where we started and the whole, the difference between like the responsibility, the empowerment of that you already have the knowledge, you already have the science, you already have the tools available to you to be able to pull this thing off. And like, do you find that in like the status quo world today, people are trying to outsource any amount of their health? Like, like it's almost to the point, like, do you think that it's almost to the point where if people could pay someone to work out for them, they would? Or if they could pay somebody to eat for them, they would?
To some, yeah, I know. Yeah,
because I think you're saying there, right?
What'd you say?
I think that's what you're saying there, right? Like the opposite of like with your health. When it comes to your health, you can't ask somebody to go. Like you can't ask somebody to get healthy for you, just like you can't ask somebody to go to the bathroom for
you. 100%. Yeah, and so a good mental way to look at this, and to what you shared earlier, it's kind of like both and, right? So the way I see it, and I empower people within the book, is to first and foremost, build and set the intention for your own powerful self-care strategy, right? So that's your own, you're the health coach driving your self-care strategy. And then there's also value in building your all-star health care team or health hacker team, right? So like, you know, who are these top experts that you want to help make sense of your genetic profile, your advanced blood testing, so you can really dial in and heal and optimize, right? Because you might not be an expert in that area. You know, like yourself, who can we hire that knows the human body and can support people with proper functional movement and fitness for optimal performance and healing? And you know, that's the role that you serve in your work with Grit Gym, right? And so for me, like that's how I see it. It's kind of building my own team of experts in like a mindful, intentional way. But first and foremost, focusing on that self-care strategy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're never going to get away from that. It just is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I hope you're going to say. Because like,
cool.
like to like there are very few things that we can say like all of us do, right? Or maybe there's tons, like I don't know, our commonalities probably greatly outweigh our external difference. Our inner commonalities probably greatly outweigh our external differences. But a lot of people try to say like, oh, I don't work that way, or that doesn't work for me. Well, like having a coach and having teammates works for everyone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like they're not going to do it all for you. You've got to do it.
Totally. 100%, man. You're exactly right. Yeah.
No, I really like the way you put that though.
Self-care strategy and healthcare team. It's health hacking team, whatever you want to look at it. Yep. Yeah.
Good. It's a formula for success in the health department. It really is.
Boom. Amen, dude.
All right. Where can they get this?
Yeah. So if you're watching this right now, today.
Hey, look, there's two of them. There's two of them.
Whoa. So the paperback you can get if you like books in your hand, the paperback, and it's not like I didn't write this overnight for anyone that's wondering. Like,
no way. You mean you did it? You didn't do this overnight?
It's a bit like 3 thick. Yeah. Well, and it's not, and it's also not your typical health book. You know, it's as we've discussed.
Read a page I opened it to.
Nice. My dad and I on St. Croix. Yeah.
That's cute.
That's awesome. So yeah, there's 15 chapters. They can learn more about it and pick up a copy at healthhackerbook.com, healthhackerbook.com, and I'm sure you'll have the link for them. It's $19.95, free shipping anywhere in the world, which I should probably change that, but it's the way it is right now. And if you desire a Kindle and want to support the book right now, we're in Kindle launch mode on Amazon. So for the next 24 to 48 hours, the Kindle will be available for 99 cents. We have a 99-cent Kindle promotion. So you don't actually get a Kindle. You get an ebook Kindle version of my book. Just to be clear, you don't get an actual Kindle. And you don't have to own a Kindle to download the Kindle version of the book. You can just do that on any computer. So yeah, we hit #1 yesterday in a bunch of free categories on Amazon, which because we had the book for free. And men's health and consulting. And so today it's 99 cents. So that's where people can go.
That's great. That's cool. So healthhackerbook.com.
Healthhackerbook.com. Super simple right there. Or the Amazon link, the short link to grab a 99-cent Kindle. So
yeah. Awesome, man. Well, this was fantastic. Like I'm really glad the Grit Gym tribe got exposed to this. This has been great.
Yes. And, same, dude. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, I love your healthy glow.
Yeah, well, I'll send you a link to where you can maybe grab one of these lights. It's a great, simple addition to hacking while we're working, you know, and that can make such a big difference. So I look forward to seeing you.
But I've been a little bit. I haven't gotten one yet.
Gotcha.
Well, we were talking at the same time, weren't we? Nice.
Yeah, I was just saying. I look forward to seeing you when I'm back in Iowa for some events this summer, Adam, and I appreciate you having me on.
Definitely, man. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Guys, please click the share button down. I think it's down to your right. Send this out to everybody you know. This was a dynamite interview. TJ has a lot of information to give away. And pick up your book. This actually is made the shelf at Grit Gym, so this will be out there too if you guys want to look it over. But anyway, TJ, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate it. Please, everybody, share the video out. This was great. Thanks, man.
Rock on. Thanks, Adam. Peace.
Yeah. Later.